Now we will see how the time varies, how the time period varies, period of a pendulum varies with the length of the pendulum. As the length of the pendulum is varied, we will see how the time is varying, time period of the pendulum is varying. So how length and period are related to each other. So if we are varying the length of the pendulum, the time period of the pendulum will vary, and how it is varying, that we are going to see. Or we can say measurement of time period. We devise the measurement of time period of a simple pendulum. So for this experiment, what we will do, we will take, this is our pivot or the suspension point. Here we take some length L, and this is our bob. So here consider this length as the effective length we are taking, okay, effective length from this position to this position. Now as we are varying the length, for different length we will be calculating the time period. We will be calculating the time period. So for example, first we have taken 25 centimeter of length. 25 centimeter of length we have suspended the bob. So now we are giving the, we will take it on one extreme position. We pull it back to some extreme position to here and then release. The moment I release, I start the stopwatch. I start the stopwatch. So for 20 oscillations, I count the number of oscillations. So for 20 oscillations, what time is being taken? So number of oscillations provided. So I'll be calculating the time for 20 oscillations. And for example, it came out to be 20 seconds. So when the length was 25 centimeter, time for 20 oscillations I have calculated, I have measured using stopwatch. It is 20 seconds. Now I change the length, for example 36 centimeter. So for this it will be different time. I'll calculate the time taken for 20 oscillation. So I leave the bob here, and it starts swinging, and I start the stopwatch as I release the bob, and I count 20 oscillations, then I stop the watch. So for 20 oscillation, time taken was 24 seconds for 36 centimeter of length of pendulum. Similarly, I go for different length. Here in this table we can see when the length was 25 centimeter, when the pendulum's length was 25 centimeter, time taken for 20 oscillations was 20 seconds. We calculate the time period will be T divided by 20. So 20 oscillations, time was 20. Now time period for one oscillation will be 20 divided by 20, that is 1 second. And we calculate L upon T square. So L 25 divided by 1, we get 25. Now for the second, when we change the length to 36, again for 20 oscillations we calculate the time that came out to be 24 seconds. Now time period we can calculate 24 divided by 20, 1.2. We calculate L upon T square. Similarly for other length as well we did. When the length was 100 centimeter, length of the pendulum was 100 centimeter, time taken was 40 seconds for 20 oscillation. For one oscillation it will be 2 seconds, and we calculated L upon T square. So for the time being, forget about this L upon T square. So we have the length, we have the time period. Now take first and last one, that is 25 100, 1 second, 2 seconds. For 25 centimeter of length of the pendulum, time period is 1 second. For 100 centimeter of pendulum's length, time period is 2 seconds. So as length is increased 4 times. As length increased 4 times, it is made 4 times. 25 to 100, length has increased by 4 times. Time period has doubled. Time period has doubled. So length increased by 4 times, time period gets doubled. When we increase the length by 4 times, time period gets doubled. So there is a relation between length and time period. How they are related, we can see that. So length and time period. When the length was 25 centimeter, time period was 1 second. When the length was 100 centimeter, time period was 2 seconds. So length we have increased 4 times. Time period has doubled, or it has become 2 times. It has increased by 2 times. So how they are related? T is proportional to root of L. Time is proportional to root of L. Time period gets doubled when length becomes 4 times. So how they are related? We will take the root of L, or we can say T square proportional to length. This is how they are related. Length becomes 4 times. 4 times put here, we will get 2. Time period gets doubled. When the length was 4, consider length equal to length. Time period will be proportional to root of L. Now length, let it be 4L1. When length equal to L1, 4L1. Length equal to 4L1, time period becomes root of 4L1. That is, time period becomes 2 root of L1. Well, we have taken different length, and corresponding to this we have calculated the time period. For different length we have the different time period. Now if we plot L upon T square, as we have seen, T is proportional to root of L, or we can say T square taking square on the both sides. T square is proportional to L, and if we take L upon T square, it will be a constant. It will be a constant. L upon T square is a constant. Now 25 divided by 1, 25. 36 divided by 1.2, 25. We are getting same value. It is constant. So this doesn't vary at the particular place. L upon T square remains constant at a particular place. Now if we plot it on the graph, here we are changing the length, and corresponding to it we have calculated the time period. So length will be taken on x-axis, and time period we are taking T square. Square of the time period we are taking. So that L upon T square, we have to show that it's a constant, it's a straight line. If we plot these L and T square, we are getting a straight line. Straight line means the slope remains same, slope remains constant for all the values of L. L upon T square, the slope is a constant. Slope, how to calculate? So we will take two values here, P and Q. So corresponding to P, length is L1. Corresponding to P, time is T1 square. So corresponding to P, this L1, corresponding to L1, we have time T1. We are taking T1 square. Now here corresponding to L2, it will be T2 square. So slope equal to this divided by this one, this length divided by this length. So slope equal to T1 square minus T2 square divided by L1 minus L2, and this we are taking T square divided by L. So T square by L is a constant. It is a constant for a particular place, and it is found out to be equal to 4 pi square upon G. So T square upon L, this is equal to 4 pi square upon G, or we can say T square equal to 4 pi square L by G, or we can calculate, take the root, T equal to 2 pi root of L by G. So T equal to 2 pi root of L by G. This is the equation for time period. Now see, as we change the length, the time period will change. Time period depends on length of the pendulum and acceleration due to gravity at that particular place. G is the acceleration due to gravity. T depends on length of the pendulum and acceleration due to gravity. At a particular place, the T depends on length of the pendulum. The G remains constant. Now we'll be discussing factors affecting the time period of a simple pendulum. So factors affecting the time period of a simple pendulum. So the equation we have already seen, the time period is related how with the length T equal to 2 pi root of L by G. First, if we see with the how the time period varies with change in the effective length, how they are related. Time period is directly proportional. It is directly proportional to square root of effective length. Proportional to square root of effective length. So T is proportional to root of L, or we can say T square proportional to L. As the length decreases, effective length decreases, the time period will decrease. As the T or as the length increases, time period as well increases. They are directly proportional. So as the length decreases, time period as well decreases. As the length increases, time period as well increases. In winter, effective length decreases, time period as well decreases. Clock goes faster. And in summer, effective length increases, time period increases. Clock goes slower. Now take the case first. In winter what happens? So mainly what is there? We have the compound clock at home. The clock we are having at home are compound clocks. So here instead of string we have the complete metal bob. Like this bob we have. It is here the pivot. This is made up of metal, either of the iron or brass or steel. Now in winter what will happen? This metal will contract. There is decrease in temperature. Temperature decreases and contraction of metal take place. Contraction of metal takes place due to this effective length. Effective length decreases. Contraction, due to contraction, the effective length decreases. As the length decreases, the time period will decrease because T is directly proportional to the square root of L. Therefore, time period decreases. Now pendulum completes more oscillations. Time period has decreased, so it will complete more oscillations in the given time. Now pendulum completes more oscillations. More oscillations in given time. In the given time. So we say clock goes faster. Clock goes faster. So in the given time, the pendulum completes more oscillations. Therefore, we say clock goes faster. Now see in summer what happens? Temperature increases. As the temperature increases, expansion takes place. Expansion of the compound pendulum takes place. The metal expands. Now expansion of metal take place. Because of this, effective length increases. As the effective length increases, time period increases. Now what will happen? The pendulum completes less oscillations in the given time, because the period has increased, time period has increased, so in the given time it will complete less oscillations. Now pendulum completes less oscillations in the given time, and we say clock goes, in summer clock goes slower. So this is how time period varies with the effective length. So the equation is T equal to 2 pi root of L by G. How the time period varies with the effective length, that we have seen. Now we'll be seeing it with the root of G, that is acceleration due to gravity. So time period of oscillation is inversely proportional. T is proportional to 1 by root of G. They are inversely related. So time period of oscillation is inversely proportional to the square root of acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity, that is G. So T is proportional to 1 by root of G. Now, for example, this is the Earth's surface. This is Earth's surface. As we go up in the sky, the G decreases. As we go up in the sky, the G decreases. So when we are taking the clock up in the mountains, the time period will increase. As the G decreases, time period will increase. As the G decreases, acceleration due to gravity decreases, that will move up in the sky or beneath the earth. On the surface we have the maximum G. So the graph is like this. This is the Earth's surface here. So at the center of the Earth, G is 0. It goes like this. At the surface of the Earth, we have the maximum acceleration due to gravity. It decreases as we go deep inside the Earth. It decreases as we go up high in the sky. As G decreases, time period increases. As the time period increases, the pendulum completes less oscillations, and we say that clock has gone slow. Clock goes slow. As we go up in the mountain or deep inside the earth, that is in mines, the time period will increase. The time period has increased, and because of that, pendulum completes less oscillations in the given time. Pendulum completes less oscillations in the given time, and we say that clock goes slow. We say that clock has gone slower. Now next one we discuss how the time period of oscillations does not depend on mass of the bob. Does not depend on mass or material of the body, suspended body, and we have called it as bob. So we have already seen T equal to 2 pi root of L by G. There is no factor of mass of the bob. There is no factor of mass of the bob. So whatever kind of bob you take, whatever material it is made up of, or how much mass it have, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the time period. Time period does not depend on mass of the bob. It does not depend on the mass of the suspended body. Time period is independent of mass of the suspended body. Now let's see whether the time period depends on the amplitude. So the expression was t equal to 2 pi root of L by G. So here we can see there is no factor of amplitude of the oscillation. There is no factor of amplitude. So time period of oscillation does not depend on the extent of swing of the pendulum on either side. So if this is the pendulum and how much it has been displaced from its mean position, it doesn't vary the time period. Time period is independent of the amplitude of oscillation. It does not depend on the extent how much it has been displaced from its mean position. Our time period depends on two factors, that is length of the pendulum and acceleration due to gravity at that particular place. Time period is independent of mass of the bob or the suspended body. Time period is independent of the amplitude of the oscillation. It does not depend on amplitude. So this is our expression for calculating the time period. At last we'll discuss seconds pendulum. At last we will discuss seconds pendulum. So seconds pendulum is a special type of pendulum which have time period of 2 seconds. Time period of seconds pendulum is 2 seconds. That is, if this is the pendulum, so from here to here, back to the mean position, to the other extreme position, back to the mean position, it takes how much time? 2 seconds. So one extreme end to the other extreme end, it takes 1 second. Then again back to the same position, it will take other 1 second. So total of 2 seconds. Therefore for seconds pendulum, the time period is 2 seconds.